Hello and welcome to the Seahawkers podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Schultz. It is game day for our Seattle Seahawks, and I am joined by a couple of my good buddies. We've got Clinton Bonner and we've got Adam Emmert. It is Super Bowl practice day, Adam.
It is. I'm so looking forward to it. And it's interesting, Brandon, because we released our flagship yesterday, but we had recorded it a day or two before that, whatever it was. And I tell you what, man, the more that I sit and go through this matchup all the way up and down, I feel so good about this game, Clinton. I don't know. Am I overconfident? Am I feeling it too much? Or are we going to go out there and just, I don't know, crush the entire hopes and dreams of an entire fan base just because we can and laugh at their tears? Is that what we're going to do?
I want that to be it. I'm a little less confident than you are. I listened to the flagship last night. I had a very good time while listening to it, while driving back from playing music until late in the wee hours of the morning, rocking and rolling. Ton of fun. I'm a little more nervous than I usually am about these kind of games. It's just that we're playing a quarterback that is playing well right now. Now, I want our defense to just go out there and decimate them and take their souls. And I think we have a real good shot of doing that. But Adam, I am a little bit more nervous. But boys, we are T-minus less than 3 hours till kickoff. We've got all like the latest updates, the news, where you can watch the game. We've got the rooting guide. And then at the second half of the show, we have Blue Friday bets. Adam, I don't think you're going to be nervous about those because you've been on a heater, dude, absolutely crushing Blue Friday bets. But Brandon, my Blue Friday bets have stunk, dude.
There's an easy solution to this, Clinton. Just whatever you decide, because bets go both ways. You can go overs or unders. You can once you pick that, and then in your mind just flip it, yes. And you'd probably be playing perfect right now. And we are playing perfect with our executive producer Ryan 911 coming in with a $9.99 super chat. Big thanks. We've got awesome. A bunch of folks joining us in chat too. We've got the IA Hawk, Brandon, we got Free Truth, we got Nate Schutz who's here saying my heartbeat is already elevated, and Free Truth in the chat saying we got this, bro, we got this. Big thanks to the Snail who's in here. Michael Knight, I know I've missed some other folks too, but just fun coming in here on game day. Not seeing a whole lot of 49ers fans yet, but maybe.
Well, hell, they better get after it because they've only got about another 3.5 hours to feel good about life. So hurry up.
Wonderful. Awesome. And then Ryan, thank you, dude. Big shout out to Coach in our Discord. That is Ryan, of course, for us. So thank you, man. That is awesome. So boys, we have a lot to cover, a lot to get through. So why don't we just get on with it? And the very first thing, hey guys, you put out the call. We've been putting the call out there. We are approaching 6,000 subscribers out on YouTube. We are precisely 14 away. So if you are net new to this show or you've been around a while but haven't subscribed, well, go ahead and subscribe. And there's a very, very easy way to do it right now too. There you go. Throw it up there, Brandon. I took it down twice, but the Snail just gifted 5 memberships. That's 5 right there. Go subscribe, become a member out on YouTube. That is awesome, Snail. Thank you for doing that, dude. That is really, really kind of you and really good for the Hawkra. And just putting some names up on the screen there. Channel's been going gangbusters lately. No surprise. Team's playing good. We're doing good. You want to play good, and we got lots of new subscribers and folks. So thank you if you see your name out there. We appreciate you a ton. One of the things that we like to do out on YouTube, we like to put some polls out there to kind of get the pulse check going. So guys, I'll go left to right here. Brandon, I'm going to start with you, and then to you, Adam, as we like to, understand how you might have voted also. So a couple of days ago, I put one out there, said, how many points do we need for our Seahawks to win this game? So we had 20, 24 or more, 28 or more, or hey, this is going to be a shootout. We need like 33 points to win this game. The flock came in with 24 or more, getting the most votes at 46%. Brandon, where would you lay your chips if you were laying them?
I have said pretty consistently like 20 to 20. I don't think I've gone as high as 24. I think 23 is kind of where I think the Seahawks need to be at, but I'm really going to be surprised, even as well as the 49ers offense has been playing, if they put up more than 20 points against this defense. And the only thing that I think has me a little bit concerned isn't so much Purdy's arm in this game. It's more so his legs and making sure that we keep him in the pocket and not running for some first downs, because I think that's probably what he's it's probably going to be his best shot in this game.
All right. So you think 21 points basically gets it done with the holding the Niners down to 20 or below. Adam, I think you're in a similar bucket. Is that where you'd land as well?
It's hilarious. I love how Brandon's like, I've been pretty consistent between this band of points somewhere in
21
here.
and 23.
Yeah,
there's like a
band
3-point
of
band.
points. A band of points. Like, that's the most Brandon. Like, I'm certain about something with giving myself all the wiggle room. That's the most Brandon prediction ever. I love it. I'm saying definitely under 20. Like, this Niners offense, everybody's drooling over it. Oh my gosh, look at Purdy. He's throwing all these touchdowns and he's running, and CMC looks unstoppable. And it's more than likely they're going to be out Trent Williams in this game.
Yep.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but he's a big fucking deal. Like, not having him is a big deal. And these Niners have been putting up these points against tomato cans. I don't think these guys are nearly as good as everybody thinks they are. I think that the defense is going to hold them under 20 points, and instead of like 17 points. That's what I've said very consistently. 17 points for the Niners, 1 point total.
Gotcha. All right. I think 1st to 30 wins this game. That's where I put my money. But I hope I'm rapidly wrong, because hey, if it's kind of a bet, hey, Brandon, that's a bet. I think that's a bet I'll make right there. And hopefully our defense performs better than I'm expecting. It's not the defense thing. I just think offense, when they're humming, they're humming. The other one we had up there, guys, is what would be the most important factor in a Seahawks W? And I put 4 out there, and I get people commenting, well, these are really tough. Like, they're supposed to be tough. Like, it's a poll. It's meant to be tough. But which one do you think is most important? Adam, starting with you this time. Seahawks need to get out to 130 plus or more total rushing yards between Ken Charbonnet, as you said on the flagship, or Seahawks hold CMC to under 110 total yards, rushing and receiving, or Seahawks turn Purdy over 2 times, or Sam 1 turnover or less. And real quick, the distribution was really pretty even. The one that said Sam with 1 or less turnovers won with about a third of the vote. But what do you think is the most important factor to our Seahawks getting a W?
Yeah, this one's super easy to me, and that's just holding CNC in check. And that is the straw that stirs the entire 49ers offense drink. And if you can,
is 110 in check? Is that in, because it's not a small number, that is with receiving in there as well.
Yeah, total yards. That's
total yards. Okay, if that's in check, I wanted to check that's in check for you there, Adam.
Yeah, almost. I'd say 95 yards is in check, because it's been 25 games since the Seahawks have allowed a 100-yard rusher. I don't see that streak being broken against this offensive line in this type of game against this defense. I just don't. And you keep CMC in check, then you're forcing Purdy to put it out there and try to win it with his arm. At that point, now you got Turdy opportunities. And look, if Sam does turn the ball over 1 or more times, we have seen that he has done that against mediocre to bad teams and consistently leads the team back to victory. That's something that he does. And so that's exactly what I think this Niner team is. It's a giant fraud. I don't think that they're better than mediocre by any stretch of imagination. And I can't wait to beat them down. So just hold CMC in check.
I like that. Okay, Brandon, how about you? Same for you, or is it different box you want to go to for most important to win?
It's same for me. Gosh, these are all important. So I think that's why we're seeing this distribution here. I really like the Seahawks to rush for 130 plus, because I think just with as hot as this offense has been for the 49ers, like, I would rather not take my chance with putting the defense on the field for more than 30 minutes. So if we can control the ball, limit the 49ers possessions, like, that would help me feel more comfortable that the defense is going to be able to get the job done.
That's my favorite of the 4 as well. And most important, not just favorite, because I do think it correlates to time of possession, some lengthy scoring drives, hopefully. And man, I just love running the football. We got the snail who came in earlier with the super chat or the 5 gifts. And he says, Byron Murphy gets 3 sacks, getting him to 10 on the season. And he wants that in the prediction book. So the snail, you give 5 memberships. We will certainly grant you you get one of those 3 rubs at the lamp there for sure, dude. Okay. And we had one more poll out there, guys, just to show as well that we're also active out on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. This was just about confidence level. So most flockers are sitting at 60 to 89%, big band of confidence. Adam, I think we know where you're at. You're pretty darn confident in this game. Brandon, are you in what band would you put yourself in from the highest confidence down to fairly low confidence in this game?
I'm at the high confidence level.
Like the highest confidence or high?
Yeah. I mean, my highest confidence isn't even on here because it doesn't go above 100.
Wow. Look at that. Look at that. All right. And Adam, I believe I know where you're at, but are you the highest confidence or are you right in that kind of high confidence band?
I love it, Brendan. I must be just a smidgen below him because I'm in the 90 to 100% range on this. There is a chance. I mean, the crazier things have happened in the NFL that the Niners come out and are able to get the victory, but it's vanishingly small. And I like 90 to 100%.
Love it. I love all that. Oh, Baker Mayfield just threw a bad pick over the middle. Carolina's about to get back in this game. They're down 10-0, but they got the ball at the Bucs 19-yard line. Bad Baker. Oh, by the way, great graphic on screen, by the way, that the Seahawks just put out, looking like Mothra about to swoop down on Santa Clara. It's quite good. All right, so boys, we have a lot of news and notes to also get through, so why don't we just hustle on over to it. Biggest thing so far that people are just kind of on pins and needles about. We don't have the official inactives just yet, but we have some breadcrumbs. So let's report on the breadcrumbs. Hawk blogger Nemhauser, of course, out there. There's some news on who we elevated. So we elevate Cam Akers, we elevate cornerback Tyler Hall. But what that means is we don't elevate what would be the backup to the backup, OT, the tackle Logan Brown, which is a pretty big indication that Josh Jones is playing, which means Amari Kight, a UDFA, does not have to likely start the biggest game of the year in a decade. Adam, is that enough of a sigh of relief for you, or you still want to see that inactive?
Look, Josh Jones is a good replacement player, and he's done a nice job in his time taking over for Charles Cross here. So the idea that this is an indication that Josh Jones is playing, I don't know. But I do know that it sounded, when Mike was asked about it, of course he's not going to speak in absolutes, but it felt like Josh Jones was going to play based off of that.
Yeah. Brandon, is that, so it's a pretty good breadcrumb, but what do you think of that? Is that like, yeah, that means Josh Jones playing? Otherwise they would have just called up the other tackle. Do you think that's factual or a little bit of a bridge?
Gosh, I think there is, there are other guys who can play tackle if need be that would be on the active roster. But
yeah.
I mean, I never got the sense that Josh Jones wasn't going to make it by Saturday.
Yeah, same here. It sounds like he'll be back. We'll know in a little bit. Inactives come out 90 minutes before kickoff, so we're not too far away from knowing for sure. And then, of course, got to make it through warmups and all that jazz. But we all want Josh Jones out there. Adam, like you said, has been a really solid swing tackle. Of equal importance news here is that the Niners did the exact opposite. The 49ers elevated Brandon Parker, who is a backup to the backup offensive tackle. So this is a pretty big indication that Trent Williams, with his hamstring injury, will not be playing. So Brandon, similar question, but how are you feeling if Trent Williams is in fact on the sidelines for this one?
I think he will be. It's throughout the week. I think we even heard from Ian Rappaport saying it was really unlikely. The Niners are trying to play a little bit of a game, I think, with their injury report, just listing guys as questionable. And I think that was, a little bit of a gamesmanship move by them. And just, again, based on everything, with this not being a win or go home type game for either team, I don't think that if there's guys who are kind of close, that they're going to push guys to where they're not going to be available then in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so too. Adam, you thinking that Trent is going to have to take at least a week off? What do you think, bud?
I would think so. And the one thing that nobody's brought up regarding Trent Williams in the injury is he's freaking old. He's been doing this forever. And everybody acts like he might play, as if he's some 25-year-old. And it's like, nope, he's 73 years old. It takes a long time to heal up after soft tissue things, especially if you're older. Niners aren't going to be eliminated when we beat them. So why would you risk having him out there? And on top of all of that, if you listen to a lot of the talking faces in 49er land, Pleasance came in during the game on against Chicago and had a decent night. Now, again, that's against a dumpster fire defense, but he did it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be having Blue Friday bets as the second half of the show. We look at picks and props and parlays. And I'm just putting the breadcrumb out there that if Trent Williams is out, there might be a potential wager or two that I happen to like that might go against the backup for Trent Williams. So we'll take a peek at that in a little bit. So moving on. So we have the official injury report.
Is that it for news?
Well, no, that's that part of news. That's
okay.
That we got more news. Don't worry. The official injury report is that Charles Cross is, of course, out. Kobe Bryant is doubtful, very much likely not going to play. And then again, we have Josh Jones, who we just talked about a lot there. On the San Francisco side, guys, it does look like Upton Stout is their cornerback who plays nickel, is trending towards playing. But Keon White, who is one of their better, due to actually can get a little pressure from the edge, that's up in the air. We talked about Trent already. And even like George Kittle, I expect George Kittle to play. Adam, knowing what you know about George Kittle, do you expect him, or is that just going to be like, well, I guess we'll see?
I expect George Kittle to play. I expect him to do about 10 different plays that are super annoying because they're successful for the Niners, but I don't think it's going to be close enough. Him and CMC are the two guys on this football team that I look at and I go, those are legitimate, really good football players. And look, even a diminished Kittle, he's going to get a bit of his, but I think when it's all said and done, that's not going to be a problem for this defense.
Yeah. And then, we know their backup well, Brandon. We know Tonjes pretty well at this point. Is it still for you though? Like whatever, like if Kittle can be off the field, great. Would you rather have Kittle out and just have a healthy Tonjes, or maybe a kind of a gimped up Kittle that they're trying to force out there? What scenario do you think is better for our Seahawks?
I think based on their depth at receiver, they're probably going to want both those tight ends out there anyway. So we're probably going to see more of the both of them on the field, more so than, I don't know, 3 wide receiver packages.
Yeah. You got your third and Juwan, you got Pearsall, who's still dinged up every single week, and you got DeMarcus. So it will be interesting to see what kind of packages they do roll out there, but they are dinged still, as they have kind of been all year long. A little bit more news, guys, which I think is interesting. I got 2 more pages of news. Sam is up for a bunch of incentives and it's just neat to understand. So Brendan, start with you here, but Sam could really improve his bag life. He's got about $2 million on the line. And I actually think there's another one that the other one is the touchdowns. Some of the ones that are, well, I'll just read them real quick. If he can achieve 100 passer rating, he's currently at 99.2. He gets $500,000. If he can get 3 more touchdown passes today, he's at 25. He gets $500,000. If he can get to 4,000 passing yards, he needs 150 for that. He gets $500,000. And if he can get his completion percentage above 67.5, he's at 67.2. He's right there. He gets $500,000. Brandon, where would you put the chances of a clean sweep that we're cutting a big fat check for Sammy Bear for 2 million smackers? What do you think?
Just in case there wasn't enough pressure on Sam Darnold for this game against the Niners, we go ahead and put $2 million of incentives on the lines. Sam got good news this week too. He's got kiddos on the way. I saw him and his wife sharing the photos of the ultrasound, so that was pretty cool. Big week for Sam, and if he can get a payday too, and the first place, number 1 seed over the Niners. Hey, this could be the year of Sam Darnold.
I love that. So, Adam, do you think we get the sweep here, or is there 1 or 2 that you think might be in jeopardy for Sam?
It's hilarious because just before you threw this graphic up, I had pulled up the graphic on my tablet here because I wanted to be sure that we talk about this.
Yeah, nice.
Because I think this is pretty interesting stuff. So,
Right.
Brandon, you said the idea of putting more pressure on Sam going into this game. We got to change our mindset. 60% of everything's half mental. So what you got to do is you got to look at this and say, this isn't pressure. These are incentives. These are the things I get to go do against a god-awful defense. One that doesn't play heavy package as well, and that's something that the Seahawks like to do, and they like to pass out of that, and they like to be explosive out of that. So what does that do? That makes it so Sam easily gets to his 100 passer rating. 3 touchdowns in range.
Let's go.
I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that one, but I'm rooting for him because twins. And 4,000 passing yards, he's going to get that. Like, I'm not worried about that at all in this game. That's a lock. 500 G's right in the pocket right there. And his completion rate is going to be high in this game. I love the way that this game sets up for Sam Darnold because everybody's talking about, hey, this is his chance for redemption because it's exactly the same as last year. And now we get to go through all this. The only big difference here is that even though the Lions defense was banged up last year when he went into that Week 18 game, they're still the Lions, and they were a good team.
Yeah.
Sam gets to have his redemption this year against a trash defense, one that's absolutely awful. It sets up so perfect for him to go out, just do Sam things, and just collect his checks in the dub and get the monkey off his back. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too. We got a bunch of flockers in here saying hello, so we appreciate y'all just lobbing the comments in there, hopefully getting fired up as now we're, T-minus 2.5 hours essentially before kickoff. One of the other incentives on screen there, a little bit smaller, 2 of them are around sacks, guys. So if D-Law can get two more sacks, going from 6 to 8, he'll get to $500,000 extra. And then Chenna also, if Chenny Gold Jackets can get 2 more sacks, he gets a cool $250,000. So we're reporting this just to put it out in the ether that if our Seahawks have 4 sacks and those 2 dudes go 2 for 2, little Chuck Woolery style, I'd be a happy bear for all the flockers out there. And I would celebrate these guys getting some extra bags. And then I put a little something on screen here, guys. Richard Sherman retweeted one of our tweets this week. We had a little fun with the little Rocky IV symbolism. And Sherman actually commented on it that he's like, man, you should have done the Apollo Creed fight. He wanted Apollo in there. I understood that, but at the same time, no, Apollo's likable. Apollo's a true champion. So no, the Niners are forever Drago, forever losing that battle. And
I don't know if they're as scary as Drago, though.
Fine. That part's they're red, they're yellow. It's Moscow, the whole thing already. The game's in Moscow, but no, Apollo Creed's a hero, and the Niners never, ever, ever, ever. All right, we got one more bit of news, and this one's a little bit sad. This is about Torrey Horton, guys. Just in case some of the flockers out there don't know it yet, but Horton now to the IR, still kind of undisclosed as to what it is. But after all this time, Brandon, disappointing or expected for you?
Well, I guess it was expected based on what I heard from Dr. Clint last week with him saying it's a knee because it is a shin apparently is equal to it's a knee. And I guess I'm a little surprised that something didn't come out sooner if it was more serious. I guess this just speaks to how tightened up the Seahawks are with some of their medical information, because I feel like if he had a broken bone that would keep him out this long, that we would have heard about it. So, I mean, It's a bummer for Torrey. Cuts his rookie season short. Not having that opportunity to come back. He looks so promising. How nice would this receiving core be if it was Rashid, Torrey, along with JSN, and then Cooper Kupp as like the 4th? Like that would have been really nice in the playoffs. Doesn't look like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Adam, how about you, dude? Was it expected for you at this point, or just is this a big kind of man you really wanted him back for the playoff push?
Really wanted him back. Not surprised in the slightest.
Yeah.
And look, there was one time I had put a big chunk of metal in my receiver hitch on my Jeep, and I was building a project. I remember being like, hey, if I leave this in here, this is going to cause me physical problems later. And I was like, nope, I went off, did something else, forgot I put it back there, and walked around the back of the Jeep at almost a sprint, bam, hit that sucker with my shin, and it dropped me to the ground. I damn near cried right there on the pavement, and that took about a year until it didn't hurt anymore. So this shin stuff, man, you crack that sort of thing, it's a slow go with that, and I just feel bad for Torrey. But at the end of the day, we're going to get him back next year when we're trying to go back-to-back in Super Bowls.
Yeah, and we don't know, by the way, for sure we know it's a shin thing going on, and often why I was saying it's probably a fractured shin or some sort of something fractured. A bit of a guess, but it does happen a decent amount after ACL injuries that you end up having a shin that follows it. So that's why it was at least based in knowing a little bit about what type of injuries could follow an ACL. With all that said, happy and healthy returns, get back as quick as you can for next year, because he was a bit of a difference maker. Brandon, I do want to put this one up there. Maybe one of you two guys know for sure, but Maximus is asking about the bonuses. Where do they come from? Do they impact the cap in a financial way? So Brandon, do you know?
Yeah, for anybody wondering, because we put those incentives up on the screen, and one of the things that how those get into part of the contract, it's a negotiated part of the contract. So when Sam Darnold signed here in Seattle, they had these different markers of, okay, if you hit these, then this is what your bonus, what it would be. Mm-hmm. And some people have that question, okay, well then how does that impact the cap? And depending on how likely they are to be attained, like is it something that they consistently attain, then it would count most likely toward this year's salary cap. And then if they don't attain that, then that cap carries over to the next year. If it's something that's kind of outside their normal play, maybe consider it unlikely, then it would count toward the next cap if they were to hit it.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate the question and good clarity. Useful for me to know as well. I believe I knew that, but I didn't know the detail you shared. So that's actually perfect. All right. Last week
I didn't know. I thought the bonus fairy came down your chimney at night and then just made it rain on top of you with dollar bills when you were sleeping. I thought that's how it works. So thanks.
There has to be salary cap implications, or else every team would go, well, all you have to do is be on the field for one game and you get a $20 million bonus, and it doesn't count against the cap. And there you go. That would be
so you're saying people would find a way to game a financial system? Is that what you're saying? I don't.
It's not like there's NFL.
Howie Roseman.
I don't believe it for 1 second. All right. So we did put on screen as well. Started doing this last week because we thought it'd be useful. Just like making sure you know where you could watch the game. And the nice part about today is because right now, maybe you don't get ESPN because, it's just different than it used to be, just having cable or something like that. But this game's also on ABC today. Coverage looks like it starts around 7:45, and we get Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and professionals who do their thing well. Adam, are you a Joe Buck? You okay with Joe Buck?
I like Joe Buck. I like Troy, despite the Cowboys part of his life. Like, if we could just get rid of that, I'd like Troy a little better. What's interesting about this is I look at the graphic up here. It says winner crowned NFC West champion and number 1 seed. And then they erroneously put the San Francisco logo up there as if they had a chance for it. If they just deleted that, they would just had it more accurate going into this, and it'd be better for them.
Better for their deal. Well, that's where you all could find that game. So, and of course, if you are a member of the Seahawks podcast with $3 or above out of patreon.com, you could hang out with us and hundreds of other flockers in the Discord. If you're like, oh, I don't really have anybody to watch the game with. Well, yeah, you do. So get in our Discord before this game starts, and we'll make sure we have a lot of fun. Adam, you brought this up, and Brandon, you guys talked about this in the flagship show that now our Super Bowl odds, you go to different books, you're going to see some different things. But as of right now, the Seattle Seahawks are favored, Brandon, to take home the Super Bowl. My how the what do they say? The turntables have turned here, right? So you guys talked about it on the flagship, but I wasn't really picking up what you were saying. You guys were mad for some reason. Can you clarify for me?
Oh, no, it was so initially when we looked at the game, the Niners were favored by 1.5 points. And so if the Niners were favored by 1.5 points, it doesn't make sense for the Seahawks to be that much more favored over the Niners for the Super Bowl.
Got it. Okay. And now as Good, Adam.
And they had the Super Bowl odds for the Rams and the Seahawks at that time as equal. And it was like, wait a second. We stole the Rams' soul, sent them into a spiral to where now they've lost 2 in a row and are going to have to be the 6th seed and go to their house of horrors in Philadelphia. And you're telling me that that's equal Super Bowl odds to our dominant Seattle Seahawks? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's what made me mad.
I think what they're banking on here, besides the fact the Rams could still play ball, is I think what they're banking on is, hey, we beat the Niners, so hey, good on us, right? So we get the 1. The Rams take care of their business versus the Cardinals because Cardinals, and then actually the Rams are the 5 seed and the Niners are the 6 seed. They got to go toe it to Philly or potentially Chicago, and the Rams get to play the winner of the game that's on right now. So maybe that's what they're seeing for that, a bit of an easier path if that is the case. And then of course we do have the weather report. Been saying this for weeks, basically week after week after week lately. It does look like a little bit of rain, but it doesn't look too bad, guys. It looks like it might come on in the second half or end of the second quarter. And it looks like 30% chance of rain out there in Santa Clara. So we don't know. We'll know when it happens. I do know, though, that listen to Niners creators and Niners podcasters that they are not looking forward to wet ball Brock Purdy. They don't like that, Adam. They think Brock Purdy has some challenges when the ball gets wet.
Challenges is kind. He's bad. He's bad when it rains. Unfortunately, as I look at the AccuWeather app here and they break it down hour by hour, it looks as if we're going to miss the majority of the rain, which is a bummer because also too, that would kind of play into a defensive game.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then the Niners have 0 chance, which is less than their 2% chance that they have going into this game.
Yeah. All right. Well, Brandon, is there anything we could do to make it rain out there?
I think that it'll just be misty, and Brock's record in the mist also not great. So I think we'll be fine.
Mist is just, rain that doesn't want to fall. It falls very slowly. That's all right. So, all right.
Hanging rain.
Yeah. Well, we have a quick.
Before we get to the rooting guide, I
Please,
do have an email from John the Bard Davison because he normally is a part of our flagship.
Let's hear it.
And he, we recorded early. He came in a little bit late. So how about an email from the Bard, guys?
Let's do it. That sounds great.
Very happy New Year's morning from the Bard as I type this. I hope everyone had a good Christmas and got everything they wanted. After I calmed down after the Rams game, I remained serene all week as I was convinced we would see off the Panthers. But I'm now declaring it squeaky bum time as this is one hell of a game coming up. I wasn't totally confident against the Rams, and I feel the same about this one. Can we win? Of course we can, but we have to have all aspects of our game working, which has not been a given every week. But a win, and we're at home, and we get a week off to heal, which we need. So it will be watching between the fingers again, and it's not the end of the world if we lose, as we're in the playoffs. Remember, and how many of us was a certainty at the start of the season. Go Hawks from the Bard.
Excellent.
Love it.
Yeah, go Hawks. I don't think I've ever been, I don't think so. I've never been live with one of those reads. So Brandon, tip of the cap there. Good job doing that live, but that's a treat for sure. And yeah, man, like that, I think I'm kind of in the Bard camp where like I said earlier, I am a bit nervous about this one. And
Niners fans are nervous about this too. One of the news items you didn't cover, like one of their most hated officials is officiating this game, like who officiated, I think, both of their Super Bowl losses. And so when they saw him come up, they're like, oh, of course, that's the official that would get against the Seahawks.
Good.
Well, that sounds just par for the course for this team and crybaby shit ass Kyle. Like he's gonna have something to cry about after the game, other than the loss. Oh, Bill Fedovich got me again. Like I could see it. But the Bard says it's squeaky bum time. And look, man, I think just take the squeaky part out, and we'll just call it bum time because we're playing a bunch of bums that have frauded their way to 12 wins coming into this game. Basically, I saw somebody in the comments on the flagship say dancing through raindrops to get to this point. Couldn't agree more. And let's just spank these bums. Get them out of the way. See you later. Get in our Super Bowl practice and head on with the number 1 seed. I can't wait.
I love that. Well, last week we effectively spanked the kitty. So if we could spank the bum and get it done, well, that sounds like a square deal to me. We have been putting out our rooting guides week in, week out, and Brandon, hat tip to you because you came in with some great, great points of view on this one to really hammer home why we should care about some of these games. Because some are like Patriots versus Dolphins. Like, why in the world would we care? Well, if you could see it on screen, all the games here, we want the Panthers to win. We want the Falcons to win. We want the Bengals to win. We prefer the Packers to beat the Vikings, the Giants over the Cowboys. Why would we care about the Giants over the Cowboys? The Raiders over the Chiefs. Who cares? Well, I'll tell you why in a second. Patriots over the Finns, Lions over the Bears. And of course, we want our Seahawks to demolish the Niners. But all the other ones, every single one of those makes the Rams first round pick that they got from the Falcons worse. So Brandon, great job sleuthing and putting that all together. So if we could put that concoction together with the Falcons, of course, winning, then the Rams pick just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And Adam, anytime we could screw the Rams, I'm in big for it.
Love screwing the Rams, and I want to see Panthers, Falcons, Bengals, Packers, Giants, Raiders, Patriots, Lions go ahead and win here and make their pick worse, much like their playoff seeding that has only gotten worse over the last couple of weeks as well. Everything worse for the Rams. And the thing is that I don't want to care about this because that's the offseason, and we've got 4 or 5 weeks here, boys, to enjoy our Seahawks this year until we finally get to the offseason. That's a long ways away. But I love how every one of these ends in the Rams are just worse.
Yeah, Brandon, good job by you. Any one of those, anything else on the betting guide for you, the rooting guide for you, Brandon?
Yeah, I guess I would just give the caveat that not all of these matter necessarily if like the Falcons go ahead and take care of business and then like some of these games end up not mattering, but I just wanted to make sure that I had all of them down so that if it came down to it and I need to figure out who I'm rooting for, it's a quick list.
Yeah, this is the Doctor Strange. Yeah, there's one permutation in the multiverse that if these things all happen, it's probably the best combination, and that's good. But hey, don't hold us to that. But it's the rooting guide for the week. Again, the last line, Hawks over Niners, is really what it's all about today. All right, good job though, Brandon. Really appreciate you bringing that forth. All right, second half of the show time, and I do want to give a hat tip here because let's see, we had somebody come in. There it goes. Nate Schutz saying on a betting note, which is a nice segue, he's got offensive rookie of the year with Travion Henderson and Jackson Dart. Come on, please hit. I know we have other flockers that have Nick Emanwari for defensive rookie of the year for the season long. So boy, oh boy, would we like that to hit as well. So Nate, good luck to you. Blue Friday Bets is our Seahawks only gambling show. It's a lot of fun. We go through picks, props, parlays, and the bottom line for Blue Friday Bets is that if you've been watching all year long, Adam is absolutely kicking my butt up and down. Maybe I'm kicking my own ass because I'm doing so poorly, but Adam is doing quite good. Adam, just last week against the Panthers, 2 out of 3 regular bets, but not the Fail Mary. But you had 2 out of 3. Boy, oh boy, did you really nail Bryce under his passing yards and Seattle by at least 2.5 for plus 136. Congrats to you, man. Another Blue Friday Best Championship week for you. You're stacking W's like a Mike McDonald team does.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of all those dubs that I've been putting up there. And the thing about it is, once you get later in the season, it's so much easier for me personally to bet because teams have declared themselves to be what they are. And it's much easier to look at it overall and to come up with accurate bets. And really, it made me want to bet. Can we expand Blue Friday Bets this week? Can I have 6 bets or so? Because honestly,
you can take mine. You can take mine. Mine are bad. So,
yeah, I could give you some extras if you want. Because at the end of it all, Clinton, when I was looking at this, there's so many different avenues that I love going into this game against a completely overhyped Niners team.
Yeah, well, it'll be fun. And hopefully, look, man, as we've been winning games and my bets have stunk, Seattle's winning. So Brandon, as you said earlier, kind of just do the opposite of what I'm saying, and I'll be fine with that. It actually impacted me this week when I was looking at bets. I was like, oh, I don't want to bet too much on one dude who I really want to do well because I've been such a mush. It did creep into my mind, but hey, that's the way gambling goes. I'm not superstitious, boys, but I am a little stitious for sure. But this is a game within a game, so let's describe it to the audience there. You get 4 bets, down 1, down 2, down 3. Those are our 3 regular bets, $10 a pop. Take anything on the board, any odds, doesn't matter. Just go at it. Bet 4, of course, is the Sunday rubber, the Sunday scratcher. Everybody calls it that, AKA the Fail Mary. It is a $1 bet, but it must be at least plus 1,200 or longer odds to even qualify, meaning for every $1, if it's plus 1,200, you're making 12 American dollars. All right. So Adam, you are up on the board. Let me go back to the full screen here. It is golf rules. You have, you got the tee box, bud. Bet 1, week 18 against these Niners. Where are you taking us and why?
Here's the easiest bet of the day. This was easy peasy. Lock this up. It's AJ Barner to have 5+ receptions at plus 107. So just a little bit better than even odds, but basically even odds. Look, this Niners defense has been a rolling dumpster fire when it comes to covering tight ends. They've been lit up. They got lit up by Fannin. They got lit up by Loveland last week. They're going to get lit up by AJ Barner as the play action's working, and we see Barner out on all those boot concepts, just hauling in receptions, hauling in touchdowns, and just, crushing the souls of the average faithful. So 5+ AJ Barner receptions. Here we go. Plus 107.
Brandon, do you remember our conversation on What If this week about Mike McDonald's comments about Clint Kubiak's feelings about AJ Barner?
That was a long time ago, but I do have I do have the stats pulled up, and the wild thing about this, this seems relatively obvious to me, 5 AJ Barner receptions. Of course he can hit that. Do you know how many times, Clinton, he has hit that this year?
I'm going to say twice.
It is exactly twice. He did it against Tampa, and he did it against the Rams.
Yeah,
and the bad part about this is that both of those games were losses.
That's funny and terrible. The thing, so Adam, the thing this week was McDonald was asked about Barner's involvement, and he was like, "Oh yeah, he's the man," and Kubiak wants him to be more involved. And I was like, well, okay, Kubiak, you're the dude who calls the plays, right? So you could do that. And if you watch Caleb Williams use the middle of the field with Colston Loveland and Komet and just pick it apart, man, yes, I'm with you. So Brandon, I want this bet to hit, but we need to get off the schneid of when Barner does this, we need to get some W's. So
he's due for a win with 5+ catches, obviously.
Exactly. Look, guys, I'm a sucker. My first down bet, I am a sucker for incentives. So that's one of the reasons we showed it earlier. I think Sam's going to throw 2 touchdowns today. I think he might even throw 3 and get that $500,000 in that bag. But I like him for at least 2. Vegas does as well. Minus 122. Adam, are we getting 2 tutties, do you believe, from Sam the Man today?
The only way that this doesn't hit is if they're just running the ball so damn well that when they get down to the red zone, they're handing it off to Ken Charbonnet and score TDs. So that's the only thing that gives me pause here. I actually thought about betting quite a few different things on Sam Darnold because of the incentives and because of the fact that he's playing a team that is the worst in the league at rushing the passer. The worst. I think they have 18 sacks all years. Yeah. It's pathetic, as bad as it gets. And so if that's the case, Sam can light it up. I like it. I just didn't love the odds at minus 122. I just wanted beefier odds.
Yeah, and Brandon, did I hurt these odds because I took this bet?
I think you're a little bit safe because you went a little too low with the incentive being 3, and then you went with 2 being attainable.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that he had 4 against Washington, he had 3 against Atlanta, maybe a couple teams that weren't able to get after him as much too. So I would like him to hit his incentive.
Good. Thank you for, making me feel a bit better, because that process you just described was literally what that's what went on my mind. I'm like, I can't do 3 but don't worry. Stick around, because I have some big beefy boys coming up, because I got to catch up. All right. Adam, back to you for bet number 2. You've been talking about Ken Charbonnet, but this one's about one of those 2.
Yeah. So you always just got to take your pick. You don't know if it's going to be a Ken day. You don't know if it's going to be a Charbs day, but 60-plus rushing and receiving yards combined for Charbonnet in this game feels like a lock to me. Like, this is something that they're going to want to get the run game going and take the pressure off of Sam and make this game, something that they're in complete control of from start to finish. And that starts with handing the ball off to your backs. So I think this is a pretty low number for somebody like Charbonnet, and I get plus 118 out of it. Sign me up, baby.
Yeah, not bad odds at all. Brandon, what kind of expectations do we have, though, for Charbonnet to compile some receiving yards? He doesn't really get that many attempts, that many targets.
Yeah, 2 targets is kind of his, he did have 4 against the Rams. That was his season high. He's had 4 games with 2. So I wouldn't look for this a lot in the passing game, but in the running game, it is kind of 50-50. And in the last 4 weeks, he's done it twice. He's hit the 60-yard mark, total yards, and he's missed it twice. And I'm not going back farther than that, because I feel like Charbonnet has kind of come on a little bit more toward late in the season. But to me, I think this is a canine game.
Well, okay. Well, that could be the monkey wrench in it. However, the way you framed it, I think, is interesting just from the betting perspective. Is you coined it as like, hey, that's 50-50. Well, if something's 50-50 and you make it plus 118, well, Adam, that's pretty good, right? So I do like that. I mentioned earlier that if Trent Williams is not to play, which is how it certainly is trending, that I might have a bet that I think could lean into that. So I got to go big. I don't even know what the numbers are. Just know I'm down. But I would really like to see DeMarcus Lawrence just continue. Doesn't need 2 of them for this bet to hit. But if you're going to pay me 2-1, that DeMarcus could beat up on a backup tackle, get around the end there, and maybe, I don't know, Adam, sack a blindsided Brock Purdy and bring him down with a lot of anger, and you want to pay me basically 2-1 money on that, I would like to celebrate that with all the flocks today.
I like this bet. The only reason I didn't go with this, Clinton, because I looked at this specifically. The only reason I didn't live here was I couldn't decide whether it was going to be Lawrence with a sack or 2, or it was going to be Leo with a sack or 2, or it's going to be Byron Murphy with a sack or 2, or whether it's going to be Nwosu with a sack or 2, considering there's no Trent Williams here. There were so many guys that I think are going to really make life miserable for this 49ers offense that I just couldn't choose which one was going to dominate more. And that's why I had a hard time pulling the trigger on this one. But I like
that. Thank you. I like that too. Brandon, if you had to conjure, who do you think do you think Seattle gets a sack? Purdy's been slippery lately. Do you think we get at least one today? And who do you think from our Seahawks, wall there, who do you think gets home?
I'm going to go with Leo, because I think Murphy gets the double teams. I think they do try and keep Purdy more inside the pocket. Don't let him escape. And so rather than bouncing out toward the outside, he's going to try and escape up the middle. And that's where Leo's going to be.
Man, a big Leo game sure would be nice. All right, 3rd down bet for you, Adam. This one's getting a little spicy, but I like your balls. What are you doing here?
I had like 3 different bets for this one. And I honestly don't remember which one I sent you. Was it Purdy? Was it the Purdy bet?
Oh,
did I have a point spread bet?
You had the point spread bet. Yeah.
Okay, all right, because either one I love doing. I've got the Seahawks minus 7.5 to get to plus 226 here, and it's just because I can't believe this blows me away how the Seahawks and the Rams are the talk of the NFC/league going into their second matchup. Seattle comes back in the best game of the year and steals their lunch money and sends them on a spiral. And so once the Rams are on a spiral and it's time to give the Seahawks credit for being the best team in the league and the best team in the NFC and clearly the best team in the NFC West, We can't have that. So the Niners go on a 6-game winning streak against tomato cans, and everybody's like, oh, look at this. Oh, San Francisco, my very public team that I love more than anything. Purdy this, Purdy that. Shanahan, coach of the year, amazing. Can't believe Handsome Salah's doing everything that he's doing. And we don't look at what they're doing and how they're doing it. They're hanging a lot of points, I guess. But the Seahawks are also hanging 29 points per game in the last 6 games, Clinton. 29 points. So we're all like, oh, I'm worried about the Seahawks offense. And that was against better defenses. So why am I supposed to think that the defense is going to give up 30, 40 points like all those garbage defenses did to the Niners? And why am I supposed to think that the offense is going to score significantly less than 29 points in this game against, I can't put it into words more clearly, the worst defense in the NFL? Like, why am I supposed to believe that? When I combine all those things, I could have goosed this with the profit goose to probably minus 20 and felt almost comfortable with it. But at plus 226, minus 7.5 points, let's go.
Yeah, I love it. It's a big boy. I heard on the flagship that you were like 30-20 Seahawks was one of the ones you were floating out there. That would get it done. Brandon, it's a little spicy. How are you feeling about the hotness here?
It's a little spicy, but it could have been spicier, like Adam said. You sound like someone, you put yourself in the 90 to 100% confidence bracket earlier.
Yeah,
I think you were low. I think your confidence does sound a little bit higher.
Wow, love that. So if you guys want some spice, my third down is quite spicy, and I was just feeling it. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes you get a feeling about something. Adam, you were saying earlier, like, hey, think it's a Charbonnet day in some ways. Well, I don't think it's just a Charbonnet day. I think it's a Charbonnet finish, boys. Last touchdown of the game, the last touchdown in the fourth quarter to cement this for our Seahawks. We're going to see Charbonnet dancing in the end zone, plus 800. Adam, I don't even need to say careful it's spicy because we know plus 800 is rather spicy. Maybe it's a vibe bet. Maybe it's kind of a second Hail Mary in a way. I don't care. Can you envision Charbonnet plunging in to put this game on ice?
1,000% I can. Plus 800 is massive. But it takes big balls to get big chips, right? So I get it here. The only thing that I didn't like about your analysis is you talked about it being in the fourth quarter. Charbonnet's going to do this in the third quarter, and then he won't have the opportunity to do it in the fourth quarter because we're going to have pulled all of our starters, knowing that we need to rest up going into 2 weeks from now, our first playoff game of the year, once they're up about 20 or 30. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Brandon, he's calling for a victory formation, defeat formation, the Canales, but in reverse again, he wants the Niners to be kneeling it because they're so blown out the doors. But what do you think about Charbonnet maybe toting the rock in for that final touchdown?
I'm disappointed by your third down bet because you've gone incentive heavy for the first two, and I feel like you've been on top of this all year. Why did you not bet JSN to have 200 plus yards, but then to come up then like 50 yards short of the NFL record? I think that you missed out on a really big theme here with your 3 bets. It's unfortunate.
Well, I feel a little bit of shame for not pulling that through, but again, I was trying to avoid some things where I'm like, I've been a mush. I don't want to jinx JSN. I avoided
you didn't jinx
JSN.
anybody. You put Sam like 1 touchdown potentially short of his goal. You put D-Law potentially 1 sack short of his goal. And then this is all just potentially putting JSN short of the
Price is right.
record.
Just Price is Right the thing. Put it right below there. Understood. Well, I missed the assignment, it turns out, but it's okay. When Sharps hits that, we'll be in a good spot. We do have the Hail Marys. We reverse it. I go first. Guys, do you remember in the preseason who a certain rookie was getting touches? A certain rookie was shocking people. A certain rookie was doing things like, oh, I didn't realize he could do that. That looks really, really cool on tape. And then we have not seen it at all year long. Brandon, I'll go to you first. Who do you think I'm talking about? About a certain rookie who looked like he had some things to do in the offense?
Oh, in the offense?
Yes, in the offense.
Offensive rookie that's an actual, I don't know, Ricky White?
Not Ricky White. I think Adam's got it. There it is.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah, right. I feel like, I'm hopeful. Sometimes you lull teams to sleep and you do it in the preseason. He's catching balls out of the backfield. Boys, how about a Robbie Oots anytime touchdown for the Fail Mary for plus 3,000? Look, he doesn't have a target this year. So maybe you just lull him to sleep, Adam, and then you pull you pull it over their eyes and you leak him out of the backfield, and no one's covering Robbie Oots. Why would you? Doesn't have a target. But today he does, and today he gets in the end zone for plus 3K. What do you say?
It's so fun having a young team that's just kind of taking over the best at all sorts of different position groups in the division. And so I love seeing that young Juszczyk here, Robbie Oots, is going to come out and have a TD in this game, have you hit your Fail Mary as we watch old man Juszczyk ride off into the sunset. This is great. I love this bet.
Poetry right there, Brandon. What do you think?
Yep. I'm on board. You need to hit this.
Nice. I do.
I think maybe you should have gone with 2 touchdowns.
Oh, well,
Does he have an incentive?
I don't even think that was even available.
That he can undershoot a little bit?
Does he have an incentive? Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Funny. Yes, 3 touchdowns on the year, clearly. So I was not the only person who went to the rookie well for their Fail Mary. Brandon, maybe what you were thinking about before I was like, oh, this is an offensive dude. Adam, you're going with the rookie. By the way, when I saw your Fail Mary bet, I was like, ooh, that's a damn good bet. So talk about it, bud.
Look, you're going with a rookie who showed some promise early on in the year, but has been kind of the forgotten man in the offense a little bit. I'm going with a rookie who balled out when he first got on the field, got injured, balled out again when he came back on the field. A guy that has been changing the complexity and entire nature of this defense, who easily, without question, there's no other legitimate argument for another player. He is the defensive rookie of the year. We got Nick in the box coming down here, and he's going to be matched up with CMC a lot out of the backfield, I imagine, or at least trying to contain him on screens and outside zones and things like that. He's going to be in the middle of the field a lot, probably matched up with Kittle quite a bit. Those are the 2 guys that they're going to try to get a lot of touches to. And Nick's going to come away with 8+ tackles in this game, which is a lot. And he can do it because he's fucking awesome. And that gets me to Fail Mary territory at plus 1380. This is a lock. Just give me the win right here.
Lock it up the Fail Mary, Brandon. This has got to be good for the Hawk, yeah?
I think so. He needs to have a big game here. I would put him, if he gets 8 tackles, he's going to need a big game because he's going to have to do something. Carson Schlesinger is like the overall rookie odds favorite in Vegas.
Wrong.
But if I know it's wrong, but if you're going to turn some heads right at the end of the season, this is the time to do it. Get 8+ tackles, block another field goal attempt, pick off Purdy and return it for a touchdown, and just have one of these monster games. And people go, oh gosh, he's had 2 monster games this year. What are we even talking about with Carson Schlesinger?
Yes. A nice player. Certainly really, really solid linebacker, having a nice year. If we take care of business today, you're talking about defensive rookie of the year on the number 1 seed and being an absolute pivotal piece in the best defense in football. So I am absolutely here for it. Adam, that's a great Fail Mary bet, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you. I wanted to get to the 49ers fan that decided to show up because they have zero confidence going to this game. I know that because there's been zero shit talk in the comments so far, except for William, who shows the faithful's true colors by wishing for an injury to one of our players. We've talked a lot of crap this week, boys, especially this guy right here. Okay, how many injuries have I rooted for the other team?
Mental.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's on the inside is a different thing. I'm talking about like physical injuries. It's zero because I'm not a dickhead like a lot of the 49ers faithful are. He was rooting for an injury, saying that maybe Darnold goes out. That's fine. Darnold could go out. Guess what? We could throw in Milroe. We could even skip Drew Lock, who's our number 2, throw in Milroe and hang 40 on your shit-ass defense. So keep trying to will your victory into existence that doesn't exist. Good luck, William.
Very, very proper. Brandon, I think we've been through our Blue Friday bets. We had plenty of news, plenty of notes. Now we are just T-minus 2 hours before kickoff. If folks who are brand new to the show are like, hey, I like the cut of these guys' jib, what should they be doing? And if they want to even get into the Discord before kickoff, what do they got to do?
Hey, for one, if you're out on YouTube, hammer that subscribe button. We're so close to 6K. Help get us there. But another thing you can do, you can go to getintheflock.com. You can help support the show. You can join there as a free member, too. That way you can get any notifications of when new shows go out. But if you support at $3 and above, gets you into our Discord, and you can hang out there. We can watch the game together, have a blast, and, cheer on against these stupid 49ers.
Yes. So do all those things. Make sure that you do subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching live, drop the likes, drop the comments, hype the video. It helps a ton. Most importantly, Adam, with the subscribers and everything else, we do this, but we do it because we love this team. Guys, we are 2 hours away, Adam, from the most meaningful Seahawks football game in the last decade. The last decade, dude. I love your confidence. I want that to carry over for every single Seahawks fan. Let's go kick the crap out of this team, dude. What do you say, Adam?
Oh, it's crazy. I think I did. I just heard Purdy throw his first turdy trying to warm up. Look, I can't wait for this game. I can't wait for all the turdies coming our way. He threw the pick six early in the Chicago game, a 36. And I like 36s. I can't wait for 30 number 1. So I love 31. I love 32. I love 33. I can't wait for all the 30s and this Niners team to have to go back. Well, I guess just stay in Santa Clara for another week or two before they have to go on the road to the playoffs and cry themselves to sleep. So looking forward to this game. This is fun. And look, man, this is why we do it, right? This is why we do this podcast. This is why we like talking about this stuff, so that we can get this, maybe some would say overconfidence on my part, but like out into the ether, right? Raise the Hawkra and help this team going forward. If you could help us get to 6,000, we'd appreciate it a ton. It's actually something we're really hoping for before the end of this year, and we are pretty close. So hit the sub button if you love turdies and you love W's over the Niners, and if you love having the number 1 seed, and if you love the fact that we win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl every year that a pope is elected. Hit the sub button, because that's all happening today.
Love that. So Brandon, tonight, in 2 hours, we could define that the road to Santa Clara goes through Seattle, Brandon. So any last words as we prepare for kickoff from you, so we could just go right off, get fired up, and hang in our Discord and watch a huge W?
I don't think I have any more words. I think Adam took them all.
Adam took them all, boys.
I'm sorry.
No, he did a great job, boys. I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.